Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. Today I wanted to give you a little pointer on flint and steel when it comes to casting sparks downward. If you've got char on the table and you want to try to ignite it with your steel in your hand and your flint, or if you're using char cloth on top of your flint, which this is chert, and you're trying to ignite it, there's a difference between, like in this situation, with the char cloth on top, striking it like this is going to make the sparks shoot upward. If you want the sparks, the hottest sparks, to go downward, then you have to take the chert and the steel in this hand and make it go downward. The point I'm making is I keep seeing people that ought to know better that are trying to cast sparks down onto some shelf fungus, on the fungus and different tenders and chars. They're trying to cast sparks down, but they're holding it in this position. And yes, there are lots of sparks that get by and go downward, but those are not the hot sparks. The hot sparks are the one that you're scraping off up top and are flying off this way. So let me demonstrate that to you. All right, making sparks go upward. Now, if you see some sparks going down this way, those are not the hot ones. The hot ones are jumping up top here and igniting my char cloth. Once it stops scraping sparks that way, you could take your little piece of chert and flip it over, and it should start scraping sparks again. Flip it over and it'll start scraping sparks again. Now, the demonstration for casting sparks downward is now you're not going to be hitting the chert with the steel, you're going to be hitting the steel with the chert. I'm going to turn the chert over. So let's see what that looks like in real life. I got some denim char cloth, of course. We'll tear it in half across the bias, which is going to leave all of these threads sticking out. These threads are what usually catches the spark. I'm going to use this same worn out piece of chert because we know we can just flip it 180 degrees if we want renewed edges, sharp edges. I like to spread the amber all the way across the rolled up piece of char cloth before I ever put it into my tinder bundle. Now, yes, you would think intuitively that, hey, that's a waste of heat. Why don't you just use all of that building heat and put it down inside your pine needles? But indeed, if you spread it and intensify it like this, it makes the pine needles, any tinder bundle, go to flames a whole lot quicker. I think I want to do another flint and steel with char cloth and just turn this over to a sharper edge over on this side. See if we can get a quicker ignition. Let's use this side this time. You don't have to one strike ignite everything. I have my share of one strike ignites, but it's more common to have 3 to 5 strike ignites. Right, let's dump out a little bit of charred punkwood. Yes, I understand that a lot of people like to cast sparks off into their char tin, but I like to lay my punkwood out on the table, charred punkwood out on the table and ignite it. It's probably going to be one of those little tiny pieces that ignites, and then I'll add a bigger piece to it. We use this same piece of chert. You need to start practicing casting sparks downward, and of course you probably already have plenty of practice casting sparks upward towards your char cloth. All right, y'all. Appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one.